Oh man. After a few weeks of fantastic weather, we had a storm yesterday, and not only is my netting down, but the pheasants have found some of my plants. Look at this. Oh my goodness, this one's completely out of the ground. Probably the biggest challenge that I have in gardening here at my allotment is wind. The Isle of Man is a windy place in general, but when a storm whips through and here on the exposed slopes of Glen Roy come whipping down the glen, it can devastate tall plants and knock things over, and also destroy netting setups. And it's actually a little bit my fault too. I mean, I know about the wind, but what I did was weigh these guys down with rocks, but on the inside of these wooden frames around this raised bed. And so when the wind rushed this way, it actually pushed the rocks into my bed, and they were whipping around and knocking plants over. Now, I've taken the time to tidy up this bed, did a bit of weeding, inspecting damage, and I have lost quite a few plants. So I lost some purple sprouting broccoli, some kale, and that was the wind, but also birds getting to them because the netting had lifted up for less than 24 hours and already, you know, the plants were being pecked at. Now, I have some plants in here that are a little bit iffy at the moment. So I have these purple Brussels sprouts along here, and I firmed them in again, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed because I really want to try them this year. And then I have some purple sprouting broccoli in the center, and again, I firmed them in, but I don't know how they're going to do. So we're just gonna leave them there, let them, you know, try to recover, and if they don't, I'll just pull them out like I have these other little plants and make room for other plants. And I'm already sowing seeds for some winter cabbage, so they can be plonked in there, no problem. So this bed is tidied, but while I was cleaning up, I noticed a lot more damage. So we're going to walk around my site, inspect the damage, see what I can do today, and then I'll probably have to do some harvesting as well. So next up, the onions and garlic. Well, as you can see, the wind has pretty much toppled all of the garlic and most of the onions over here as well. The only reason this is vertical is that a couple of these onions have started to bolt, and these are the really strong flower stalks. So I needed to lift these guys pretty soon anyway, and fortunately the garlic is all ready to be harvested. So I'm just going to dig that up and then take it home to dry and cure in the garage because we're expecting even more rain, and so I don't want to leave them out here to dry. Not a good idea. So take them home, and then I'm going to prepare this bed to put even more edibles into. All in all, the garlic harvest is pretty decent. I'm pleasantly surprised because, as you know, this is the Chinese garlic. You see, last year in November, I thought I was being really clever, and I bought my British garlic off of eBay. And I do that a lot because shipping and carriage to the Isle of Man can be quite expensive. So I thought I'll go with one of these local seed suppliers that do retail on eBay, but instead my garlic came from China. And I planted it anyway just to see how it would do, and I have 27 heads of garlic that are supposedly a British variety from the Isle of Wight, and they're pretty good. I'm considering getting some more of the Chinese garlic to plant again this coming year. We'll see what the flavor's like. I may change my mind. It is better to go local, but these guys did surprisingly well. And the other thing is that we do eat a lot of garlic in my house. I love garlic. And when you think about garlic from the supermarket and the price, 27 heads of it, you know, this is quite, you know, a good savings, you know, considered I only paid, you know, a few quid to get the garlic to begin with. On the other hand, onions, they're dirt cheap in the shop, even organic onions. So I don't really give them very much space, and I only put in a couple of rows. The yellow onions, I got some really decent sized ones, but they all started to, or most of them started to put up some flower heads or signs of actually bolting. So these guys will need to be used really quickly. And I only have a row of them, so it's fine. Within the next couple of weeks, these should all be gone. On the other hand, I'm really disappointed with the red onions. They're actually a bit pathetic. And I will put that down to the sets that I purchased, again, off of eBay. I think this year I do need to, you know, invest in some decent onion sets if I'm gonna do them again. You know, they're just for fun, but, you know, you dedicate all that space to a plant, and if they don't produce, it's, you know, a bit of a disappointment. So maybe I will go with a local seed supplier from Britain for my garlic and my onions this year. What do you think? Do you think I should do that? I think it might be a good idea. You know, what I really had planned to do for this video wasn't mitigate storm damage, it was picking strawberries, because they are in full fruitation. Is that even a word? I don't even know, but it makes me super excited. Doesn't all gardening make me excited? I hope it makes you excited too, because these two rows here are Mara de Bois strawberries, and I just planted them this year, and I took a chance on them because I'd never tasted them before. Other people were telling me they were amazing, but I had to wait for them to grow and to produce fruit for me to know for myself, and they are delicious. They're a bit smaller than other strawberry varieties, but they have this really sweet, wild strawberry flavor, and I've been having them in yogurt. I had some strawberries and cream that I put together a few days ago. That was lush, and probably one of my favorite desserts of all time is strawberry and rhubarb pie, and guess what's in season right now? So I'd like to get together or pick quite a few so that I have enough to make a pie, and I might have to supplement it with pineberries. Now pineberries I have growing over on this side, and they're very, very similar to strawberries. They're just essentially a white strawberry, and they have a slightly more citrusy flavor, and they look great with red strawberries. They taste great on their own, and I think that they'll go fantastic in a pie. So I'm going to pick enough, we're gonna have a look, and then maybe after the video's out, I will share a picture in my community tab as to what my strawberry and rhubarb pie looks like, and I'll let you know how it tastes. Well, the Comfrey has definitely seen better days, but the bees, both the honeybees and the bumblebees and other beneficial insects, have gotten quite a bit out of the flowers, and in fact they're still on the flowers. I can hear some buzzing right now, but the leaves are all flattened, so they're not going to raise back up, and in any case I need to make some Comfrey feed. So I'm going to cut the leaves, put them in this bucket, and let them rot down. Now Comfrey, the roots go down really deep, so they pull up nutrients, and the leaves in particular are really high in potash, and it's really easy to make a liquid feed. I'm going to show you how. The most important thing is that you have a bucket with a lid, because when it starts breaking down it smells rank. It will honk to high heaven. It smells like dead bodies. Not that I know what that smells like, but it's what I imagine they smell like. So having a lid is really important. So a bucket like this, ideal. A brick to weigh them down. And you should also wear gloves when you make Comfrey fertilizer, a liquid feed, because when you're cutting the plant down, the hairs are really kind of itchy and can irritate your skin. So wear gloves when you do anything with Comfrey. Another thing that I want to point out is that the variety that I grow is a type called Bois 14. And Bois 14 doesn't set seed. So this does not become invasive. Other types of Comfrey can become invasive. So I highly recommend that you find someone who has Bois 14, and in the winter time when they divide it, you can get some of the roots and it will easily grow from the smallest roots. You'll have your own free plant fertilizer if you have it growing in the garden, and insect food, because bees love it. So I've cut the entire plant down, and it's totally fine to do that because it bounces back so quickly. Literally within a couple of weeks, there'll be leaves of this size back on it again. And there's already a couple that are starting to come up. And then it will grow and fill out, and there'll be bees all over it again. Now with making Comfrey liquid fertilizer, it's just really the leaves that you want. And you can cut them up with your secateurs or a pair of scissors. Just make sure that you've got some gloves on. And it's super easy. When you have your bucket filled, you just put your brick inside to weigh them down. Pop the lid on and just let it do its work. You can put a little bit of water in as well, but it's totally unnecessary. There's water content in the leaves. And then as they break down, it releases that water, and then you can tip it out into plastic milk cartons or whatnot, drinks bottles, and then dilute it to 1 to 10 with water. So 1 part of the feed to 10 parts with water. And this is great for your tomatoes and anything else that you want to encourage fruiting and flowering on. And best of all, it's free. So I'm just going to leave the bucket here for a good few weeks, and the first time I open up the lid and I nearly fall over, that's when it's ready. If you're going to make this at home, put it someplace that if it does spill, that it's not going to upset any partners, children, pets, or neighbors, because it will stink really, really bad, and it's difficult to get rid of it. But it is a fantastic potash-filled natural organic feed to give to your plants, and when it's diluted, it doesn't really smell that bad, and your plants will absolutely love you for it. Well, the wind is back, the rain is coming this evening, so I'm going to call it a day for the allotment, but there's plenty more that I need to come back up and have a look at. The green beans need a little bit more help. The potatoes are a bit flattened, and this is just part of gardening. You have to deal with the weather and what nature throws at you. In any case, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, give me a thumbs up, and I will be back next week with another gardening video here on the Lovely Greens YouTube channel. See you then.